We're loading. We're loading. Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, this just wouldn't work. So here we are, wild card weekend, post game here. I got my man Irvin. You remember him from last week when we watched the Eagle game, where the Cowboys got another victory to go 9-7. Unfortunately, we're sitting around watching other teams in the playoffs. I'm happy myself for Calais Campbell, one of the good guys in the NFL. I'm hoping that maybe we could see them in the playoffs. Excuse me, in the Super Bowl. I would love for him to have a Super Bowl ring before his career is over with. But I'm hoping that sometime before I die, I'll get to see the Cowboys back in the Super Bowl again. But my man Irvin, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know, just sitting here and enjoying football once again. Like you said, even though our Cowboys are not in it, unfortunately, but we're watching other teams play. There's been a couple of upsets this past week, to say the least. And looks like the Carolina Panthers are going to get their hearts broken today, too.
Yeah, well, you know, I got to tell you, playing in New Orleans, that's a team that has a true home field advantage. You know, when you go to New Orleans, people are friendly and stuff. The food's great. But I got to tell you, it's a bitch to play in there, man. That place is loud and that crowd is mean. Something I wish our Dallas Cowboys have. And yes, Orlando Chavez, the Jags have more playoff wins than the Cowboys since '96. Thank you so much. This is for you. Okay. You know, we know how you are always hating on the Dallas Cowboys. No matter what happens, you're going to talk bad about them. So this clap is for you. There you go. Okay. Dez still drops more passes in Carolina. Well, Irvin, what did I say when one of those passes were dropped? I said Cam Newton's getting Dez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. This is just hard. You know, watching the Atlanta game and seeing that with the Rams, thinking they're not any better than our Cowboys if we are actually playing right.
No.
And I just feel cheated with where we are. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on in Dallas. Irvin, do you have any idea what's going on with Dallas as far as the coaching changes and things like that?
I mean, I don't even understand what's going on right now. Like, this news about Will McClay, I'm very happy that he's not leaving.
Oh, shit.
I'm very happy that he's not leaving. But Jerry Jones needs to do something, give him a GM position or some type of position that
show him the money.
Show him the money. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it has to be something going on for him to deny a job. I've never seen anybody in a position. I mean, you're the vice president of player personnel. I've never seen anybody in a position like that literally not take a job somewhere to be a GM. Now, I don't know what the money figure is, but whatever's going on behind the scenes, Jerry Jones probably walked up to him and was like, look here, I'm going to throw you a little bit of extra cash on the side for you to stay here. But either way,
he did something.
He did something, and Will McClay needs to stay here, and he has to do something, give him a position, whatever it needs to take. But we dodged a bullet there. We really did.
Well, Cruz's dad, you may be right. We may have been one and done, but heck, most years we're one and done in the playoffs anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
I would have been happy about talking about our Cowboys today playing a game. Let's just face that, okay? The only thing I can figure, and I pointed this out earlier when I was on the live stream, because today you guys are getting a double dose. Irvin here, my man, is going to be joining us on YouTube as well. You know, he was on our live stream last week. He is getting his channel up and going this week, and we're going to be doing some stuff together. So once it gets that thing up, be sure to show my man some love. Tell us about what your channel is going to be about.
Well, first of all, my channel name is E2Blu. That's E2, capital BLU Entertainment. My first video will be this week. Once we settle in our new house this week, I will be shooting some videos on that, so you know, stay focused on that. Mark will be letting you guys know when that is, so you guys can subscribe to me, and we'll be giving you good content from there.
Well, Al Santa, a shout out to you there, buddy. Here's the only thing I can figure out as far as Kelvin Moore being made quarterback's coach. He's been in Lanahan's pocket longer than anybody else. He was in Detroit under him. There, he followed him to Dallas, and no matter what he did, it just didn't seem like they were ever getting rid of Kelvin Moore. But what I'm told, at least from what you hear from John Gruden didn't think he was going to be much of a pro quarterback. But he said he has all the intelligence, and he thinks he would make a great coach. Well, I guess Jerry Jones is figuring on-the-job training, and basically he'll be the teacher's assistant to Scott Linehan. I don't know if that's good or I don't know if that's bad, but we'll have to wait and see. The only thing I can figure, in my mind, this is Jerry Jones thinking. Everything that could go wrong, as Stephen A. Smith would say, went wrong this year. You lost David Irvin for the first 4 games. You lost David Irvin for the last 4 games because of concussion. You lost your running back for 6 games. And before you lost Zeke, you had the whole, is he suspended, is he not suspended? You had that whole distraction. You had Tyron Smith get hurt. You had Sean Lee get hurt. You had the meltdown in Atlanta. You had your quarterback regress. You had all of these things happen, but you still went 5-1 in your division. You played a first-place schedule, and you were still close in the end. You were 9-7. You still had a winning record. So in his mind, he's thinking, after all of that happened, you were still 9-7. Maybe with a little luck, maybe with a little health, maybe with a few players here or there, you win 1 or 2 more games. And if you win 1 or 2 more games, you're 11-5. You're in the playoffs and probably, maybe a bye week. So I think that's the thinking of Jerry Jones, that unlike, say, the Washington Redskins with Jason Campbell, who year after year after year had a different coordinator, a different offense to learn.
And no offensive line. Remember.
And no offensive line. That maybe the best thing is, even though it's not maybe the best offense in the world, keep it consistent for another year. Then that way he'll hopefully be able to take another step. I think I would have liked to have seen a really good quarterback coach, a quarterback guru come in, but I can kind of understand the point of view. Now, I've gone through my whole pissed off, wanting my pound of flesh, hoping things will change, just blow it all up and just start all over phase. I've gone through my why is this happening to us every year, and now I'm trying to think a little more rationally and trying to get into Jerry Jones' head. That's the only solution I can come up with, and I don't know, maybe you've got a different idea.
Well, I will say this. This year, like you said, with all the drama going on, I'm actually surprised that we still came out with a winning record. Now, I know a lot of fans don't care about us being 9-7, but Jerry Jones, he's going to look at that and say, okay, we had a winning record at the end of the day. That's his, he sits on that to keep Jason Garrett around. Because at the end of the day, he's going to use that. It's not an 8-8 season. It's a winning season. Now, it was good enough for, obviously, the Bills to get in at 9-7, but we're not in the AFC, so none of that matters. But at the end of the day, he's going to use that as his bread and butter. It was a winning season, too. So to him, despite the Zeke stuff, despite all the suspensions that we had going on, all the drama, the national anthem, everything that went on this year, he's going to look at that as it's a win. And he's going into next year with an optimistic view, thinking that, okay, things are going to get better. We got 10 draft picks. We have 10 draft picks. So this coming draft.
And actually, for once, we actually have a little bit of cash.
Yes, we do.
Normally, I know we have basically $18 million in cash. I mean, somewhere around 18, 19, depending on which thing you look at. It's so conflated, you don't know what's what sometimes. But we have roughly 18 or 19 million with the increase in the cap and the money that we're bringing back over, which is good. Not great, but usually this time of year we're about 20 million plus in the hole where we have to restructure contracts just to get even.
Yeah.
So the question here from D. Chavez, he says, well, between Lawrence, Irving, and Hitchens, who stays? In my mind, I think that all will stay.
Lawrence is obviously going to be a top priority. He's going to be number one.
Well, here's the thing. you know, DeMarcus Lawrence definitely said the right thing. He said, you know, I know I'm going to be here. Either I'm going to get a long-term deal or I'm going to be franchise tag. The worst thing for the Cowboys to do
Is the franchise.
is the franchise tag, because it's basically going to be $15 million. So between him and if you go ahead and do the tender to Irving, basically all your cap money is gone. But like I was saying to you earlier, if they go ahead and do a long-term deal, if you guys remember when Tyron Smith signed his $96 million contract,
they could push that money to the back end.
Right. That first year, it was only a $5 million cap hit. So you can do that with him. You can do the same thing with Zach Martin. Yeah. So all of a sudden, and you know, another $3 million for Irving, you all of a sudden $13 million. You've got those guys, which are cornerstones of your franchise right now, signed up. Now, if you really want to get crazy, you let Dez Bryant go as a June 1st cut.
That's $4 million hit?
No. Well, it's a $4 million hit, but you save 12 and a half.
But you know they're not going to do that.
I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what they're going to do.
Wait. If they could do it to Murray, if they could do it to D. Ware,
you're right.
What makes Dez Bryant so special?
You're right. But the way Dez was talking, like he knows something that we don't. Like he's already had a conversation with Jerry. Again, we're not in that. We're not in that locker room, so we don't know what's going on.
Some of the stuff we get on here. That's
weird.
I'm a pretty Latin trainee, cute baby face. What? I'm glad this message was held for review. Who's trying to promote her?
Well,
whoa, okay.
Right.
Okay, you know, maybe if you had not put the tranny part on there and just kept the pretty Latino with the, you know, pretty face, slim body, and round behind, you might have got a little more. But once you put the, I mean, I'm not trying to be, okay, just cut that, okay? I think we can just block you right now, okay?
Oh, man. I don't know what that's about.
I don't want to know what that's about. Dez.
Well, like I was saying, I don't know what they're gonna do with Dez. He doesn't want to take a pay cut, so there's no other option.
Okay.
And I don't think they're not gonna eat that money. They're not gonna eat that money.
Because what you have to understand is, you got Dez Bryant here on this hand. Here you got Dez Bryant. Okay. Mm-hmm. $16.5 million. If I get rid of him, I get 12.5. Over here, you got Zach Martin.
That still needs his contract.
You got Zach Martin, you've got DeMarcus Lawrence, and you've got David Irving that you could sign for what you get from him. Does this one guy outweigh those three? Or better yet, forget about those guys. Let's say we just sign them with the money that we have right there. Let's say a swing tackle.
In a draft?
No, let's say a free agent, swing tackle. A good, experienced offensive lineman to take up wherever we have holes, and we have holes when Tyron Smith gets hurt, or Jonathan Cooper. We don't know how he's going to be. He hurt that knee last week.
He did.
So you may be looking for a guard because he may not be ready the season starts. How about a Demario Davis, a linebacker who is with the Jets, is a free agent, who had 135 tackles. 5 sacks, and leads the league in solo tackles at 95.
But if Demario Davis comes to the Cowboys in a free agency, that means Hitchens is out the door.
Demario Davis, who played 16 games, had more solo tackles than anybody else.
In the 3-4?
I would find
Are we going to be able to use him in our 4-3 system?
That's a way to make... He's a middle linebacker.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
You put Sean Lee on the weak side, put him in the middle.
Okay, so that means that means Hitchens is gone.
Okay, I'll put it this way: a guy who's healthy versus Jalen Smith on one leg, or Justin Durant or Hitchens that missed most of the season off and on.
Well, Justin Durant's out the door. So that's not even an option.
That's my point. Okay, maybe it's not Demario Davis, but what I'm saying is a quality linebacker that's a backup. How about a safety who is a true safety that puts fear in receivers?
Earl Thomas?
We don't have that. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So Dez Bryant, who is a 50-50 Diva Dez, dropping balls and can't really get open, who could probably be a good slot receiver if he can learn the routes.
Now this is how I feel about the whole Dez situation. I frankly love Dez, but from a cap number, it makes sense to get rid of him. But I don't think that his drop in production is all him. And again, I'm not a Dak hater. I love Dak too, but they don't have chemistry with each other.
True.
And I feel like if you get rid of him, we would never know what would have happened when they were able to establish that chemistry.
I understand your
point. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, but see, here's in my mind. Okay, again, we can argue about this all night. But it wasn't just last year. The problem is Dez Bryant over the last 4 years, his numbers since he signed the contract have been going down, as well as the amount of times he's missed games has been going up. He says that part of the problem of this year was tendonitis. Okay, I understand that. Yeah. If you had tendonitis, that's just only going to make it harder for you to get open.
But nobody knew about that until the end of the season.
But here's the thing, though. Your best ability is your availability. If you're telling me that you're going to miss games because you're hurt, or you're going to be less than 100%, how can I rely on you? It's Tony Romo all over again. Yeah. Tony Romo, when he can play and is healthy, you can put him against anybody. But it got to the point where Tony Romo couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah.
So I kind of say, maybe you look in the draft, maybe that first pick is a wide receiver. You need a game changer. You need somebody who can stretch the field. You need a target that even if you don't complete the passes, that people have to worry about that. We don't have that, and it's shrinking the field.
We need a speedster.
Yes.
That can blow the top off of that defense, and we need a traditional route runner, somebody that's swift in his route running.
Well, here we go.
And a better offensive scheme. How about that?
Okay, here we go again. Sleepy is saying that I'm hating on Dez. I'm not hating on Dez. And unfortunately, if you ever say anything about a player, you're automatically hating on him. Because people swear to this day that I still hate Tony Romo. And it was never a fact of hating Tony Romo. What it was you have to realize you need a guy who you can count on week after week. And Tony Romo had gotten to the point in his career that you couldn't rely on him. It wasn't that I was saying Tony Romo wasn't a good quarterback, because, when a lot of you out there were saying, Tony, oh no, Tony is a bum, we'll never win anything with Tony Romo, I was here defending Tony Romo. But reality is reality. And the recent track record over the last 4 years is Dez stays hurt. Dez is not a great route runner. And because his body's beginning to fail him, that's when, as an older veteran, your skill, your roots, and everything else make up for it. But Dez doesn't have that to fall back on. And I'm not sure you're going to be teaching him new tricks at this point in his career.
No.
That's just my opinion. And, whether it's excuse me, right or wrong, it's just how I think and how I feel. But it's not about hating Dez Bryant. So, come on, cut me a little slack. Because in the end, Nick, this chat is live, buddy. In the end, here's the problem. You're going to have about $175 million to spend. And in the past, when you look back, when we did the Miles Austin deal, when we looked and did like the Jay Ratcliffe deal, when we've done DeMarcus Ware and Tony Romo, we'd have like 8 guys that were like $80, $90 million.
Yeah.
Okay? But you've got another 45 guys you got to pay.
Yeah.
You can't pay, you're paying basically peanuts to other guys that are having to play valuable minutes. And if you lose one of those guys and you don't have somebody quality behind them, you're screwed.
Yeah. And that's how you get year after year of winless seasons, year after year of not going to the playoffs or doing anything, because you're frivolous with your money and you're not doing it the right way, like Mark said. Well, and we were doing that in the past. We've gotten much better with our cap money. Like I said, the first thing was when they got rid of DeMarcus Ware, which shocked the hell out of me when it first happened. But
I was surprised. To be honest with you, I wasn't surprised about DeMarco Murray, because running backs, you don't, right, they get old fast.
Yes, they do.
So from that standpoint, and especially with the amount of carries he had, I can understand that. They used him up and said, you know what, good luck, buddy, but we're not going to pay you.
But Zeke, in the situation he's in right now, I'm pretty sure they're going to re-sign him off of the strength of the fact that, okay, we know you lost all this money. We're going to give you a chance to get a second contract.
Right.
But, when that time comes, they're going to have to pay Dak too. So they got to be careful with this money going down the line.
It's been way past time to find another tight end. Jason Witten still is getting it done. His yardage has dropped down by another yard this year. But for whatever reason, I guess it's the curse of Jason Witten. We just have not had any luck drafting tight ends, but we truly do need another tight end.
I don't think we had an issue with drafting them, as more so is they don't know how to develop a tight end or fit him in a role behind Jason Witten.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because Jason Witten is Jason Witten. He's not going to come off the field. He is what he is. Now, James Hanna, I'm very high on James Hanna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can block his ass off, and he can catch the ball.
So.
He's had injury problems, but for the most part, he's pretty reliable. You ask him to come in the game, and a lot of those running lanes outside the offensive line, nobody sees that when they're watching the game, but he's a great blocker, and he does his job well. But at the same time, Jason Witten's not going to be here forever, so they do have to find roles for these tight ends coming up, whether they keep Rico, whether they keep, what's his name, Blake Jarwin, whether they keep him or they draft another one. I do think they do need to draft another one, somebody that's a great pass catcher, because we got blockers
Rico,
at this point.
Man, when I was out in L.A., we were at the preseason game. Seeing Rico get those 2 touchdown passes, the speed he has, and unlike a lot of guys that are 6'8", when they run, they look
sluggish.
They don't look like they can. They just look like it's painful for. He is so fluid. Now, I worry because of the concussions that he had that basically sent him onto IR, and I worry about a lot of players getting concussions and stuff. David Irving's another one. But if he could end up being that guy, he can be phenomenal.
Yes, he can.
And that's what the team needs, is somebody that can stretch the field that you have to worry about. At 6'8" and being able to jump out of the building, it would be one hell of a target, because basically you're throwing a jump ball. Imagine a 5'11" or 6 foot cornerback trying to cover him on a jump ball.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That's the mismatch that you want to look for right there. Des Bryant had some opportunities on some of those jump balls and just had a bunch of drops.
I don't think Dez's problem is not his jump balls. His problem is when the ball goes left to right or down low. For some reason, he cannot catch the ball going to the ground or off to the left or to the right. That's the issue that we're having. Yes, Dak threw the ball a little behind him, but at some point you have to know when to stop, turn, catch the ball.
Right.
Catch the ball before you try to go into motion into your route. Because a lot of players, and you see a lot of wide receivers in the league doing that. They drop simple passes because they're not thinking.
Right.
Catch the ball first, and then make because Dez's whole thing is he wants to annihilate.
Well, he wants
the
to make
cornerback.
a play.
He wants to make a play, and he wants to make the cornerback look foolish. Don't worry about that too much. Worry about catching the damn ball.
Well, catching it and putting it away.
And securing it, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Because that crap he did in Seattle,
that was inexcusable.
I'm going to get the ball, and now you've got a fumble.
You can't do that. You cannot do that.
But Sandman points out about keeping Dez and Cole Beasley is not cap friendly. Cole Beasley, and I honestly, I said this before, I think Cole Beasley might be replaced by Switzer. Because Beasley has an out in his contract. He can just basically walk if he wants to.
Do you think he would do that?
Maybe. I
watch him and Dak on Mic'd Up, and the way they interact with each other. I don't think Cole wants to go anywhere.
Maybe not. But see, unfortunately, we think about football too much as the way it used to be when I grew up, before free agency. Guys were Cowboys for life.
Right.
Roger Staubach was never going to play in another uniform. But it's about a business, and it's about those numbers. And when I was talking about Des Bryant being $16.5 million, between him and Tyron Smith, that's $35 million in cap money. You take that off the top, you got to pay the rest of the team there. Now, we are blessed, and all these people who hate Dak Prescott understand that we would be screwed right now with Tony Romo's contract.
Yeah, we would.
Tony Romo, we took a cap hit of $10 million last year. We'll take another $9 million this year. but his contract would have been $24 million last year, 25, I believe, this year. We wouldn't have any cap money. So you can't pay 3 or 4 guys half of your cap money and think that you can field a good team. Our biggest problem is because we've had so many big contracts in the front, we got great starters.
Yeah.
You can't argue that Tyron Smith isn't a top 2 or 3 tackle. You can't argue that Sean Lee, when healthy, is not one of the top linebackers in the NFL.
It's the depth.
But the problem is when you lose those guys for any length of time, the drop-off is
Tremendous.
in the toilet. Hell, I think I could have played linebacker for a while for the Cowboys this year.
I ain't gonna lie. That was my position.
I mean, and I'm exaggerating, of course, but you understand my point is, a New England. God, I hate to always talk about New England, but the reason why New England to me stays on top is they get guys young, they play them early, they make trades to go ahead and reload. Guys want to get paid. What happens? We'll trade you to Cleveland.
Yep.
Because we know Cleveland, we're going to get some high draft picks. A second-round pick is almost like a first one from Cleveland.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen New England trade offensive linemen in training camp, Pro Bowlers to Miami to get more draft picks. Because it's not about the 22 guys being elite up here. It's about 53 guys being good.
Yeah.
So if I lose you, that's okay. I got a guy who's almost as good as you. I'm not getting a steep drop-off.
Exactly.
And if you're paying a Des Bryant $17 million, 16 and a half, you can't have the next guys down there that are going to be the depth, that are going to be the ones that carry you through the season, because the season is a battle of attrition.
Yes.
Guys are going to get hurt.
Yeah. It's going to happen. That's inevitable.
And the fact that people will say, oh, well, we had injuries. Everybody has injuries.
Hell,
Minnesota's on a third-string quarterback.
Eagles. They lost Peters, and they still made it to the playoffs.
Peters, they lost their starting middle linebacker. They lost their running back. Yeah. And for those who hate Dak Prescott, take a look at Carson Wentz and Jared Goff last year. Both of those guys, Carson Wentz, they got him some receivers. Jared Goff, they got him a coach. All of a sudden, those two guys are in the playoffs and looking a lot better than they did last year.
Oh, and everybody was throwing that bus
guys,
card around.
If any of you are watching the game right now, you see Mike Zimmer. What have we gotten into coaching? It's a United Way commercial. Shout out to my wife. Yes. And don't forget, I've got the whole YouTube, the Super Bowl thing. So if you go to the Jobu site on there, enter for that contest. It's going to be an incredible experience, and you definitely don't want to miss that. Another thing, too, I want to go ahead and touch on. Tomorrow night, we'll be doing the drawing for the Bill Bates jersey. I want to thank everybody who's already donated to that. There's a couple more people who've got to add to the list. I said Jobu t-shirt.
You said jersey.
I'm sorry. Jobu, that was last week's jersey. Thank you, Michael. It's a Jobu autographed shirt by Bill Bates, and that'll go to the winner. The donations go to helping the channel grow. We're going to be upgrading, and we have some stuff that's going to be incredible. We had Cowboys Nation, who was here earlier today. We got Irvin here. We're actually talking about some plans for the season, and we've got some really cool stuff. Shout out to Clarence, who was supposed to be here today, but he's made a deal. I would say sold his soul to the devil, but that's not exactly how it works. Because his deal was, once the Cowboys were out, you got to go to church. And shout out to him, because he watched our earlier live stream at church. And his mother-in-law, who is the reverend at the church, asked him, "What are you looking at?" And he said the devil made him do it.
The devil made me do it.
So shout out to you, my man. But we have only scratched the surface of the Jobu Sports Report. I know you guys are football addicts like me and have to get your fix, so don't worry. We are not going anywhere. We're going to be talking about the Cowboys. We're going to be using Cowboys Nation is going to be doing a lot of film breakdown, and he's going to be part of the show. Irvin's getting his channel going. He's going to be part of the show, and we've got something big planned for the draft. So don't go anywhere. We're going to do that stuff. But again, if you do want to be part of the drawing for the shirt, you can go to cowboyjobu.com, and if you make any donation at all, we'll enter you into that drawing that we'll do tomorrow night at 9:30 at our live stream. So with that being said, we got that out of the way. It looks like the Carolina Panthers will be going home, and it's kind of interesting that yesterday the Home teams both lost. It looks like the home teams will both win today.
Luke Kuechly is pissed.
Yeah, well, 19-24. Last few minutes, they're about to give up another score, so this one's pretty much over. So my question to you is, who would you like to see in the Super Bowl besides the Cowboys?
Definitely not the Patriots.
Oh, God.
I'll be honest with you. I would like to see the Saints go.
I tell you what, from my personal experience, that's who I'm rooting for. I got to be honest with you.
I don't think Jacksonville's going to make it. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to make it past Patriots.
The Patriots have had more than their share, but I got to tell you, Patriot fans are the most obnoxious ones. I thought Eagle fans were bad, but I'm sorry, Patriot ones are the worst. They're cussing at you when they're losing, they're cussing at you when you're winning, and they act like they're so damn entitled.
Well, they're entitled and they're pompous because they get there every year. You know what I mean? Like they have the winning recipe. I mean, I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them.
Well, I see there's so much hatred for Dak Prescott, who's only been in the NFL for 2 years.
I don't understand.
An interesting stat that I actually heard today is with our offensive line, which was the best offensive line in football last year, this year, not so much. The Dallas Cowboys gave up the 4th most pressures last season. Let me say that again. The Cowboys' offensive line, and must have been Chaz Green just against the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that one game right there.
That
one game probably skewed the numbers.
Damn near put Cleburne into the Pro Bowl.
Most pressures. So I'm sitting there trying to think, okay, who are the other 3 that are behind them? I mean, we know Cleveland got to be there.
Definitely Cleveland.
Maybe the Giants?
I want to say Cleveland. I want to say Giants, and maybe. The Bengals, Andy Dalton got hit a lot this year, too.
Right. Well, okay. Let's put it this way. We're up in that air as far as protecting the quarterback. So maybe some of that might have been some of the protection that he wasn't getting. Maybe some of it was that hand that was swollen up like he looked like he was, 500 pounds or so. That maybe that might have had effect on some of those games.
Well, Dak's not going to admit that he's not going to make excuses about his hand. And like I said, the way that thing swelled up, it was going to take some time to heal. And when you're throwing the ball and keep playing football, it's not going to heal. It's not going to heal until the off season. So we know that was an issue. I mean, that's common sense, but people don't think of it like that. They look at,
the Panthers haven't lost yet. But it's 31-19 with 5 minutes to go. So there's a lot of reasons why Dak didn't do it. I mean, hell, you can look at Zeke. Zeke's numbers dropped by a yard.
Yeah.
Per rush. A yard per rush. That's the second-year slump.
Some of that is because they didn't use him, and obviously because he didn't play.
And the offense. I mean, everything is relative. Unfortunately, some people will focus solely on it's Dak Prescott. Some of it's play calling. I think they should have run the ball more in some situations. Certainly, first down on the 3-yard line, I would think you would want to run the ball, or 2nd and 2 from the 2-yard line, I would think you would want to run the ball a little bit more.
Right down
Some of
the
those
middle.
games with Zeke wasn't playing, where Alfred Morris only got 9 rushes, but was averaging 5 yards a carry, you might want to run a little bit more then.
Yeah.
So some of the play calling I see was an issue. Wide receivers getting open and catching the ball was an issue. The running game was an issue. The offensive line was an issue. Dak's accuracy was an issue. All of those things were problems with the offense. You can't just say, we fixed that, everything else is perfect.
It wasn't with just one person.
The interesting thing for me is that's going to be a holding.
And
he's got a kid. Damn, he punched that football.
And that's another flag.
So it'll probably be offsetting. But I look around the NFL, you would think that Dak Prescott was the only young quarterback to have an issue. Marcus Mariota.
Oh, yeah.
18 interceptions, 13 TDs. Did you hear anybody saying he's a bum? He needs to be out the NFL?
No, they did.
He's not smart enough to play quarterback?
No, nobody ever even mentioned it.
Did you even know that his numbers were that bad?
No, I didn't actually.
18 and 13.
I'm not
18 interceptions,
I'm
13
not shocked.
touchdowns.
But at the end of the day, nobody was checking for Mariota. But Dak unfortunately plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and when you are the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you are front and center news all day, every day, whether it's for a good reason or for a bad reason.
Well, I would say,
and Jameis is.
He's regressed.
But you can never count on him. Like you said, like we needed the Buccaneers so bad to beat teams for us to get to the playoffs this year, and they failed us every time.
No.
He's a head case.
No.
Their kicker.
I'm gonna use a phrase that Brian brought us from DallasCowboys.com was saying.
Well,
the Bucs, if you put an F in front of the and take the B out, that's what they were this year, because they did nothing for the Cowboys. They didn't help us do anything, and we didn't help ourselves either.
A lot of people are giving a lot of venom here to Cam Newton. The Cam Newton you see outside is a little bit arrogant and everything else and all that stuff. But I will tell you from personal experience that Cam Newton actually does a lot of giving back.
Yeah, he does.
I was actually fortunate enough because, I do volunteer work with my wonderful wife in United Way. I got to drive Cam Newton around D.C. for 2 days. They were doing a youth symposium where, they're working with kids and things like that. Cam Newton went to the worst school in Charlotte and went to the principal's office and said, I want your 3 most problem kids because these are the ones I want to work with. These kids he brought to D.C., well, he brought 2 of them. One of them got in trouble and he said, I'm not going to reward bad behavior. But on a weekly basis, he came to the school, came in through a back door, and worked with these kids every single week. He's done...
What?
Okay, Carolina.
Carolina, wow, what a play. Carolina, it's not over till it's over. 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Carolina just got a touchdown, and they could get within a score of winning on this one. But he does a lot of stuff in the community and gives back. And he also likes chocolate chip cookies. My chocolate chip cookies, but that's another story.
Well, I haven't had those.
Okay. Well, since we're on this keto diet now, cookies are not a thing. But he's actually one of those guys. There's people don't realize how much power NFL players have. I can tell a kid, son, you need to stay in school, and it'll go in one ear and out another. You have an NFL player come knock on your door and say, son, you need to get an education. That kid's going to listen.
And I'll be honest with you, even me, I'm no NFL player, but even in my little world and my fraternity setting and me roller skating, like I have young kids that look up to me too, and I don't know what it is, if you're closer to age than them or if you're doing something that they look up to you because they think that you're cool and they're like, okay, well, I want to be like him when I get older. They're going to be more susceptible to listen to you because you're doing something that they're interested in. So, using that platform and helping those things, that's definitely a good thing. I didn't know that he was doing things like that. But the problem is they don't tell you about that.
Here's the thing.
They don't broadcast that.
They don't necessarily want that to be done. There's a lot of guys that do a lot of stuff that you don't hear about, but they're behind the scenes because they are very powerful. And Sleepy Dave, I love how people are. Sleepy Dave says, let me guess, Cam asked about Jobu. No, actually, Cam Newton didn't meet Jobu because Jobu was not allowed at this event. And that was actually before Jobu grew like he did. So there's that. And that's a true story as far as Cam Newton goes. Say we should pursue Jarvis Landry. You know what? If we pursue Jarvis Landry, I guarantee you the NFL will reopen the investigation.
They will.
On this
They will.
Domestic
You know why?
abuse. Because he's a Cowboy. Guaranteed. Right now, oh, you're a Miami Dolphin? No problem. And this is where sometimes in my mind, it's like you don't want to believe that there's a bias. But let's take Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers took him off IR, which was legal, played him a game and said, we're out the playoffs, we're going to put you back on IR. But there was no new injury. The rules state, in order to go back on IR,
it has to be a new injury.
It has to be a new injury. If you put him back on there, then you have to release the player. It's funny how that's the rules for the NFL.
Nothing was said about that situation at all.
Nothing. So wait a minute. He's supposed to be a free agent. He is supposed to be on the market where teams can go ahead and try and pick him up. But yet the NFL didn't follow their own rules on that. If that were the Cowboys, because remember, during the uncapped year, we signed Miles Austin to an extension. We got fined that $10 million.
Yes.
Us and the Redskins. So why is it we get held to a higher standard than anybody else? Zeke Elliott, that situation to me was the worst thing the NFL could ever do because nobody was a winner in that. The NFL looked stupid.
And then you gave him 6 games, which nobody else has gotten that high
for
of
domestic violence.
I mean,
and we're talking about there was never a charge, an arrest, or anything that was provable. But Jarvis Landry, you got a video out where he's slamming his wife in the car.
And they said, oh, no, you're good. You can play next week.
You got Junior Gillette for the Redskins, who not once but twice, and he got 1 game suspension that he could suspend while he was injured. He wasn't going to play that game anyway.
Let's not forget about the Giants kicker.
Oh, the Giants kicker, yeah. So this stuff is not exactly it. Jag the Jester, congratulations. Jag, what did I tell you? Because Jag is a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, and he's been a loyal fan here on the Jobu Sports Report. But I told you when they signed Calais Campbell that you got a beast. And I got to tell you, you got a beast. 6 tackles and 4 quarterback pressures.
Yes.
I mean that's pressures. Quarterback hits.
People don't understand how hard that is at the defensive end position. Like,
right, knock the quarterback
at the end of the game.
Yeah, knock the quarterback out.
That's so hard to do at that position. I mean,
damn. Well, that's all right.
Just imagine, just for a second, just imagine Calais Campbell's effect on that defensive line on the opposite side of Lawrence. And then you put Irving in there with his
Well,
you know, you can always dream.
A man can dream.
You can always dream.
Man can dream. But, you know, we're going to have to start focusing. You know, we got the playoffs right now, but we're going to start focusing in on what the team needs to do. And right now we're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with coaches. We've got so many coaches that are basically given the option of if they want to move on or retire, they can do that. So none of the big coaches, although Rod Marnelli is saying that maybe he might retire.
Now, how long does he have until?
They said they're giving him as much time as he wants to decide that. I hope it's not going to be too long.
Yeah.
That's the one that I kind of would not necessarily want. I'm not crazy about the Tampa 2 defense. However, I've always said that he does better with less on that defensive line. He has always gotten guys that you never heard of and turned them to effective pass rushers.
Yes.
David Irvin's one.
George Selvey.
Yeah, that's George. He was one of my favorites, man.
Yeah. Shout out to my frat brother.
Yeah, well, George was one of my favorites. I mean, George was a fan of Jobu's and stuff before it was cool. But that one might be. It'll be interesting to see who might come in and replace him. I pointed out about the coaching tree that we have. We don't have great pedigree guys. Rod Martinelli is probably about the best known because of his work with the Tampa 2 and Tampa Bay, as well as working with the Bears. But Scott Linehan.
Now, say if we lose him as a coordinator, who would you like to come in there?
At this moment, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. You know.
Let the Marcus Blair come back.
Ken Norton.
Ken Norton would be
Norton
a
Jr.?
Yeah, I mean he was in house, so maybe I don't know. If
I mean he did play for the Cowboys.
I don't know if there's bad blood there from when he left to go to San Francisco, because you know how San Francisco players are with Cowboys and all that.
Yeah. That's why players for years in the 90s.
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Singletary.
You know what?
See, that's what I
like Michael.
You know what? You don't like him?
I do, because he
Don Capers.
That's what I'm talking
Don Capers.
Some emotion.
He'll send it to the locker room.
Well, see, that's the problem. Our coaches, we had this conversation before. Our coaches do not
hold people accountable.
They don't hold people accountable. They're on the sideline throwing tantrums and throwing coolers and stuff. Nobody's saying anything.
I equate Jason Garrett to a Little League coach. Johnny, good year, man. Here's your participation trophy. Don't worry about it.
We'll get them next time.
We'll get them next year. And if the coach isn't held responsible, why are the players? Players get a 15-yard penalty. Oh, okay, well.
Fuck it. We'll keep it moving.
Des Bryant has a meltdown, a tantrum on the sidelines by himself. melting down, stewing in his own juices, and it's okay. And see, that's where a Michael Singletary, somebody will come in and put a foot in your ass.
Oh, he will shut that down real quick.
Oh yeah, can't play with them, won't play with them, get the F out of here.
So would John Gruden if we had him, but
Well,
that's
$10 million. I like John Gruden, but I don't know about $10 million worth.
No,
So,
10 years, $100 million.
Well, right. I mean, $10 million a year is what I meant. $10 million a year. That's a
lot of money.
Change.
Well, Las Vegas.
Oh, well, I'm right. I guess they figured that. Yeah, that's seed.
Well, he was probably thinking that too. It was like, oh, I get to be in Las Vegas.
Well, Billy Murray, I'm hoping that you are right that Kellen Moore will surprise the people. That would be fantastic if he did.
Good news
What's that?
about our.
Oh, Will McClay.
Will McClay.
Yes, we talked.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Thank God, Will McClay, Michael. Here I keep trying to get him to help me run the show because you guys know I'm technology challenged. And shout out to Michael because he's going to be starting his channel as well soon. Like my man Irvin here. We're all about trying to help everybody grow because this is not easy to get in front of a camera and actually talk to people.
No.
And when you hear some of the messages that you get, you got to have a thick skin because I get a whole lot of venom from people and all that. And hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Everybody's entitled.
But I forgot what we were talking about here.
You're talking about defensive coordinator?
Oh, thank you. Defensive coordinators. I wouldn't even mind Lovie Smith.
You know what? I actually, when was the last time? His contract with Tampa was what? What was it, 4 years ago? The last time he was a free agent.
It was with Tampa.
Was when I wanted him. Because I said that same thing. I was like, I want Lovie Smith to be our defensive coordinator. But
he's not.
Everybody thought I was crazy for thinking that. Everybody thought I was crazy.
As far as he's more like Tony Dungy, where he's more laid back and stuff.
Yeah,
but he knows the X's and O's.
He does, and he'll be able to make those adjustments on defense.
Right. So those are some things that would be great to see right there. Somebody was saying here about Kellen Moore that they think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Hey, you know what?
I mean,
you never know.
They know Kellen Moore more than we do. I mean, they're around him on a daily basis. Now, is he actually going to be the quarterback's coach, or is he like a helper? That's what I'm not understanding.
He is the quarterback's coach, but he's basically Scott Linehan's helper.
So did that mean he retired as a player? Because that conversation.
He retired as a player and was hired as a coach.
Okay.
That was yesterday.
Okay.
John Ortega's asking who we take in the first round. I believe we're going to go wide receiver in the first round.
I believe so too. Either that or swing tackle.
I don't know that the Cowboys will do that in the first round because I think they'll look at that and say, you know what, we've got 3 Pro Bowlers. We've got La'el Collins, who a lot of people say that, he didn't do that much. But I got to say, when you look at the players that he had to guard week in and week out, he had the cream of the crop he was going against, along with the bad back. And just being the first year as a right tackle in the pros, I think he actually did a pretty good job.
I'm very high on LC, but again, Tyron Smith has back issues. When you have back issues, those issues do not go away.
Oh, I agree.
Now, like I said, even DeMarcus Lawrence had surgery. He's still going to have some type of issue with his back. And Tyron Smith is a big guy. He's not like a small guy. So, the more weight that you have on you, the more issues you're going to have, and it's going to linger. So the reason why I said tackle is because of his injury. And we need, like you said, we need backups that can at least come in and supplement the issues that we're having so we can block for Dak, because at the end of the day, Dak can't keep getting hit like that.
Sarah, shout out to you. Her question is, how much have I had to drink today? Believe it or not, I've had nothing to drink other than actually soda and water.
We had a lot to eat, though.
Yeah, we had plenty to eat. I've got this bad cold. I've got a sore throat, so my voice is kind of raspy. So I am reading questions, Nick C. Thank you very much.
You guys are going by so fast, huh?
Yeah, they are kind of flying through, and because I have somebody else to talk to here as well and run the board, it's a lot to try and do by yourself because I'm actually controlling the camera and all that by my cell phone right here. And then I've got the computer screen in front of me with the questions that are going on. I've got Michael over here who's talking to me, and I got Urban as well. So I'm trying to do as much of this as we can. Yeah, Kellen Moore's asking for $10 million a year to coach Dak. Yeah, good luck with that. That ain't going to happen because, Jerry Jones ain't trying to pay a whole lot of money.
His contract is probably very friendly right now.
Rest in peace, Saints. Right now, Panthers are moving through here. Sean Miller, you're from Texas and feeling down because our Cowboys aren't playing. So this is basically like the 24-year winter bug for you? Because it's like every year for about the last 22 years, we've been in kind of the same position. And it's sad to think about it because the Cowboys, for me, it was like year after year growing up. They were always in the playoffs or damn near close to it. We never saw implosions like we've had over the last few years.
I'll be honest with you. We haven't had. We also have not had coaches like we've had in the '90s either.
Well,
I mean, you can't replace Bill Parcells. You can't replace.
I'm just sitting here looking at Ron Rivera here. Ron Rivera
just signed another contract too, didn't
he? Yeah, he's been with Carolina as long as Jason Garrett has been with the Cowboys. He's been in the playoffs 5 of his 7 years, and been to a Super Bowl. Jason Garrett has been to the playoffs twice, and with 1 playoff win. Yeah. So there's that.
Did he still catch that ball?
Okay.
It was a catch.
Sarah, you may be right that I do need a drink. Maybe that's the problem. I didn't have a drink.
And he got the feet inbound.
Carolina, first down on the 22-yard line with about a minute and a half left. I'm sorry, 26-yard line.
Is this going to be upset?
58 seconds to go. Carolina.
Look at that blocking.
Newton buys the time, throws it away.
Stop that clock.
No timeouts left, 52 seconds. All right. Cam. Oh, Cam. Jack Del Rio. That's another interesting one.
Well, I said that, but
okay.
But Jack, do you think that he wants to go back to being a coordinator?
Remember, he played in Dallas too.
Yeah, I know. Both him and Cam.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes when you're a coach and you lose a head coach position, sometimes you got to take a step back. Rod Martinelli, head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
He had to step back and become a coordinator again. And some guys are better coordinators than coaches.
Perfect example.
Norv Turner.
Wade
Phillips. Cam to the end zone. Okay.
Who's on? Please be on the Saints.
Garrett is still better for Hugh Jackson. Who said Hugh Jackson? I'm not sure. But back to Hugh Jackson, I'm not sure it's Hugh Jackson.
I don't think it's him.
The curse of Cleveland. When he was up, I was like, please, just don't go to Cleveland. Because Cleveland is a career killer. It's Siberia. If you're a quarterback, the last place you want to be drafted for is going to Cleveland. And coaches will go to end their career in Cleveland.
And I think there was I don't know if this is true or not, but it was a draft pick, a guy coming out of the college draft this year saying that I don't want to go in the first round because I don't want to go to Cleveland.
How do you trade a coach? Well, John Gruden was traded to Tampa Bay for draft picks. The Saints will make the Super Bowl. The Saints may not make it out of this game.
If they don't. Oh, that was almost intercepted.
Whoa. 2nd and 10 from the 21-yard line, 41 seconds to go.
Was that more? Oh, no.
Chiefs chokes now, Saints. Well, we'll see. Still going on. It's going to go down to the wire here.
That was underthrown, too.
Talk about Will McClay. Well, Will McClay, thank God he withdrew his name from the Texans job, and I'm hoping that means he's staying and not looking someplace else. Because we didn't hear that. Here we go. 2nd and 10. Newton throws it away. No. 35 seconds left. 3rd and 10.
Flag down.
Unnecessary roughness? Or was it... Or does he say... don't touch the ref, Cam. Intentional grounding. Are you kidding me?
He threw it out of bounds. Did he not throw the ball out of bounds?
He threw it out of bounds for saying he wasn't out of the pocket. Oh, man. 3rd down on the 34-yard line. Wow. Talk about the difference between Tom Landry, Jason Garrett, and Johnson.
You said Jarvis Landry. You said
Between Tom Landry,
Tom Landry,
Jimmy Johnson, and Jason Garrett. How long you got?
We be talking about that all night.
Tom Landry coached offense and defense and was a statistician, and he basically had everything down the line, controlled every single detail about the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson was a motivator and a master evaluator of talent.
Yes.
Okay? He basically let the players know that you will not mess up or you will be gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. Hey, I'll put up with a little bit of junk on the side as long as you're doing your job. Hey, I ain't got no problem.
And the players did not slack off in that era because of that reason, because they knew that if they slacked off or they didn't do what they were supposed to do, their asses was out the door.
And then you got Jason Garrett. Good job, Johnny. Here's your participation trophy.
Jason Garrett is
I'm happy to have a job.
Jason Garrett is a Monday through Saturday coach. On game day, he is your clapper, clap on, clap off. He might as well be an Alexa.
Well, Devin asked to talk about Will McClay. My throat's killing me a little bit here. If you could speak up about Will McClay for a moment here while I gotta try and clear my throat.
Well, like I was saying earlier.
Here we go. 3rd and 23.
Oh.
Incomplete. 4th and 23, 11 seconds. This
Saints might actually pull this up.
is going to go down to the last play. It was close. Damn, it was close.
You said they wanted opinions about Will McClay?
But Will McClay, yes.
Well, like I was saying earlier in a live stream, I don't know who was listening, but
all right, this literally is the ball game. 4th and 23 from their 34-yard line. 11 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. See if Cam's got a miracle, and the pass rush is there.
Sack.
Unfortunately, sack.
Game over.
That's it.
Saints win.
Saints win.
31-26, Saints.
Well, you were 100% right about that, Bill Murphy. You never know who's going to be great as a player coach, and it's completely unknown until it happens. That's true of football all the way around. Going into this year, everybody figured, okay, the Cowboys were 13-3 last year. They're going to be good again this year. But the NFL goes through these cycles. Take a look at the NFC right now. All the division winners are new.
Yeah.
Nobody repeated. And most of the teams that are in the playoffs weren't in there last year. The Eagles were in last place in our division last year. You had Seattle, who was in the playoffs last year, not in the playoffs. Green Bay, us. So you're looking at, there's always the unpredictability. And that's where I still believe that the thinking of our great owner is that it goes through cycles. You have a great year, and then you step back. And then you reload, and you get that easier schedule, and you come back again. And I think he's thinking that, okay, I got my 10 draft picks. I'll get some people healthy. We'll have a better schedule. We play the AFC South. We win a couple more games than we did last year. We still have dominated our division. That if I just hold on, we'll be okay.
Roscoe, go lay down.
Now, you may agree or disagree with that one. I personally think that, okay, a different coach might be able to take what you have and really blow it out the door.
I agree with that. And also, our strength of schedule next year is not going to be as strong as it is this year, obviously because of our record. And the way our division goes, like you said, it's up and down in every year. You rarely ever see an NFC East team go back-to-back or even three-peat of division title. I mean, hell, you never know. next year the Giants might turn around, especially if they get Bill Belichick.
Well,
If they get Bill Belichick,
yeah, that would be like Cleveland turning it around because they have. Oh man, their defense is what they've got to blow that defense up. They paid too much for it in free agency. They don't have an offensive line. They'll get the receivers back, but Eli Manning is getting kind of up there.
Well, they do have the second pick in the draft, so they're going to get a quarterback if they're smart. They better get a quarterback, but they better get some offensive linemen. Or they're not going to be able to keep up in the division because the way we're going,
the New York Giants give 3 years.
The way the Eagles are going,
They'll be good.
they're not going to be able to keep pace.
Won't be good this year, but in 3 years.
Oh, Albert, believe me, I'm giving Ron Rivera props because I was comparing him to Jason Garrett. He's been with Carolina as long as Jason Garrett has been with the Cowboys. And I dare say he's had less to work with. He's had a great defense, but you can't say that.
And he made it to a Super Bowl.
He made it to a Super Bowl, and in the playoffs, 5 out of 7 years. So there's that. They keep forgetting to talk about Will McClay. Will McClay is the guy who has brought stability to drafting for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones was always freewheeling, ready to move up and down in the draft and make those big draft day trades or trade 2 picks for Roy Williams from the Lions. Here we go with the Lions connection again. But the Cowboys, since 2010, have drafted more Pro Bowl players than anybody else. To me, getting talent hasn't been the problem. Problem has been what to do with the talent once you have it.
And I've been saying that, for years. We don't know what to do with the talent once we get here. That part is not on Will McClay. That's the coaching staff. Now, Will McClay right now is a hot commodity. He's like that. He's like that one beautiful chick that just broke up with her boyfriend. That all the guys are like, oh, she's on the market, and everybody's in her DMs trying to get to her. That's what they're doing with Will McClay. The Texans have been watching him for a long time. If you see what they tried to do, they tried to get him. Now, like I said earlier in the stream, there was some conversation going on in the background because there's no way you're going to tell me that the vice president of football operations is going to player personnel is going to all of a sudden turn down a job to be a GM somewhere else. Because I'm pretty sure that contract is different. That money is different. I don't know anybody that would turn that down. But obviously Jerry was in his ear, told him, look, I will give you this, this, and the third, but he needs to give him a legit position.
I wouldn't be surprised
because
if
we
Jerry
will lose him eventually
and make some kind of announcement the next day or two, that Will McClay is
the GM,
is assistant GM or something, some kind of thing.
You know what? You got something there.
Just to kind of let everybody know that this is my guy. I mean, to me he is the de facto GM. The fact that Jerry has still been looking and talking about guys like Johnny Manziel and things, but we were able to go ahead and get Zach Martin, a guy who's only given up 1 sack last year and not a single penalty. That has been a plus for this team. And so you don't want to lose a guy like that. To me, that would have been the biggest loss that we could have had.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet. We dodged a big bullet there.
And so...
Now, what is his contract like? Do we know?
Do not know. He stated last year that he had unfinished business. He said, his goal is to win a Super Bowl here in Dallas. And I'm hoping that it happens. Yeah. And maybe he's still trying to stick to that.
I want to get a Super Bowl definitely before Jason Witten retires, because that would be an ultimate storybook end to his career.
Yeah. Well, hello, Jackie. We see you're in Florida visiting your dad. Hopefully the weather's better there than it is here. It was cold as can be in Jacksonville when I was there on Tuesday. And fortunately for us, it's supposed to actually start warming up a little bit tomorrow, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Kept Rex Ryan? You mean Rob Ryan? No,
neither one of them.
I don't like the Ryan brothers.
I'm not a fan of them at all.
What did Ryan do?
Look what he did to New Orleans defense.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. Like,
Look what he did with our defense.
the problem is he's too exotic.
He got a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, come on the damn coach.
Right.
For the Cowboys, come on.
And the way our coaching staff is, how conservative we are, that doesn't work. It doesn't fit.
Is there anybody besides Jerry that wants to keep Jason Garrett?
Stephen Jones, maybe.
Nobody here.
Vegas team.
Did I hear that Will wanted to draft Watt? Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, the Cowboys have their thing about tall defensive ends. And T.J. Watt didn't fit that scenario for them. Now, a lot of people say, well, look at the season that T.J. Watt had versus Taco. Well, T.J. Watt had about twice the snaps that Taco had.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so I think he had, 5 sacks?
Yeah.
Taco had 3. So, you're still kind of in the same ballpark. He had a lot more tackles, but again, he got a lot more playing time. And I think that helped. So, Taco was raw. We knew Taco was raw when we drafted him. And I believe they reached for him because when you watch that draft, you could see that the edge rushers were going off the board fast. There were a lot of cornerbacks in there. I think the Cowboys' mind was, if we don't draft a guy now, we're not going to get anything in the second round.
Because if you look at if you were listening to the broadcast, you would hear the announcers. They were saying, "Oh, are they going to get Takk McKinley?" Then the Falcons took him.
Right.
I mean, they were naming everybody that could have went to the Cowboys at that position. I'll be honest with you, I was one of the ones that, and my wife could contest that, we were all sitting there saying, oh yeah, we should get T.J. Watt. And I said it when the Cowboys card came in, I was like, T.J. Watt. And then you hear Taco Charlton, I was like, okay, I didn't know anything about him at first because I didn't pay attention to him in Michigan. But one thing I did know that, like you said, he was a raw player. He was a player that was going to develop.
Right.
He wasn't. To me, he's a second-round pick because we got him so far. We were picked 27.
Right, which is
if you pick at 27, that's technically a second-round pick.
Yeah.
But again, him getting 3 sacks in the little time that he did play.
Well, in the back,
in the back end, but he's getting better. And with another offseason, get stronger. He has to learn on get some more pass rushing moves. He'll be good.
Yeah.
In years to come.
Well, with that being said, my voice is literally dying. And we're going to go ahead and end this live stream here tonight. My man, you get the final words tonight because I just can't talk anymore. Be sure to, when he gets his channel up, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Definitely check it out. Give my man some love and thanks.
So this week you guys will be seeing my channel up. That is E2Blu Entertainment, capital E, number 2, capital BLU Entertainment. My first video will be up sometime either Tuesday or Wednesday once I get settled in my new house. And like I said, I'll be doing videos with Mark here going forward, so you guys will be seeing a lot of me. Let's get ready for this draft. Like he said, we're gonna have a lot of stuff going on this off season, and you guys are gonna be happy with some of the stuff that we're gonna be doing. So just stay tuned to that coming up.
All right, and so tomorrow night we'll be back at 9 o'clock, and we'll be talking about any other news with the Cowboys. We know we get news from the Cowboys daily, so there's never a void of something to talk about. And we'll also do our drawing for the Bill Bates t-shirt. If you guys want to get in on that to help support the channel, just go to cowboyjobu.com, my website, and you'll see on there a donation button where you can donate PayPal. Any donations whatsoever will end up helping out the channel as well as enter you for the drawing. And we do drawings every single week. So once you're entered, you're in the drawing until you win one. So guys, thank you as always for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow.